Now, I see you're in Perth. You have been in South Africa in recent days. That's a country that is facing all sorts of dire challenges, from an extreme energy crisis to crime rates, really. We don't sort of see in the West. Rape and murder rates put the country as the third most crime-riddled in the world. Douglas, is there any hope for South Africa? What did you learn while you were there? Are they headed to Zimbabwe 2.0?
Well, it's a fascinating country, of course, and it's an extraordinary country. I've been there before, but not for a few years. And it's a country so rich in resources, and I don't just mean mineral resources and that sort of thing, but extraordinarily rich in what we rather unpleasantly call in our era human resources. They have an enormous amount of potential in South Africa, and it has been wasted by the government in recent years, which has been so corrupt. I mean, so unbelievably corrupt on a scale which it just boggles the mind. It's a sort of corruption of a sort of Middle Eastern level. That's how good the leadership are at that. All the time, of course, it's fascinating. They do. One of the things I found most interesting was, of course, South Africa's government's been grandstanding on the international stage in recent months by taking Israel to the International Court of Justice for a charge of genocide they couldn't hold up. And of course they couldn't, because it's not true. But it's very interesting, whenever any government does something totally grandiose like that, you can always tell they're going to distract you. They're trying to distract you and particularly their people from things they're not doing. I said to audiences in South Africa, it's that question of you should look at the hand that the magician has that you're not meant to be looking at. And in the case of the South African government, the ANC, corrupt ANC government, they've presided over a period not just of this corruption, but the lowest education standards in Africa. Which, Somalis are better educated than South Africans. They've got more than 50% youth unemployment, which everywhere I go, when I notice that sort of thing, it's just the biggest tragedy. Young men in particular just hanging around with nothing to do. It's unbelievable, appalling. Many of them have actually got degrees because they were told that was the way to do it. And they're in debt and they're unemployable because there aren't any jobs. These are the sorts of real world effects of misgoverning a country like the ANC has in recent years.